thank you so much for coming on the show with me.
Thank you very much for having me. Just great.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. I guess to start off, I think it'd be great to have you introduce yourself and I guess to share some with sort of where you are with your art and what you're pursuing.
I'm Taiko, and I'm an artist based in Denver, and I'm working primarily in printmaking, but I'm exploring other media, large installation or mixed media, some stuff too. And I start making art, learning art in 2011. Just stopped by the local school, art student League of Denver, to try take the class. That was the beginning, and I was always interested in art. I was born and grew up in Japan, and I was originally a nurse working in a hospital when I was in Japan. And after marrying with my husband, he's British. So since then we have lived several places like UK, and then went back to Japan. And my husband was always, long time, a student, and he wanted to study to get the degree in the US. That's, I can say, brought us to the US, and living in Miami 3 years. And next was Austin, Texas, 6 years. And when he got a job here in Denver, that's 2011, and since then we have living here in Denver.
How did you get started in art?
I was a nurse for a long time, and probably I didn't have time to think about what I want or what I enjoy, just because being a nurse, just to spend time in a long time in a hospital, even though I was off duty, just always thinking patient or what's next. And so maybe I didn't have time. But when my husband and I moved to US, I had a time. At the time, my husband was a student, so I was not allowed to work, no work permit. But I always liked exploring or learning. So eventually I learned, met a friend, and a friend took me, for instance, because I'm just fascinated in fabric, textile, paper, or all the stuff, antique stuff. So talk and friend, so when I was in Miami, so Cuban friend took me to just industrial warehouse where I can buy textile or another material to buy with reasonable price, also learn how people make the textile from pillow as a product from the textile. So that was kind of fascinating. So learning.
Is that when you got interested in using different colors? Like were you seeing how they were dyeing the textiles and the fabrics then? And did you see a connection there to printmaking in some way at that point?
I think at the time, of course, I don't know, but now, because people or friends start talking, where did you get the inspiration? This color is different. So looking back, some yes, because it's not only textile, because moving from Japan to Miami is totally different. The color and the bird and flower, just color of the ocean, even though go to the shops, just different, include textile too, textile embroidery or a lot of buttons or a lot of stuff. So probably just that was definitely inspire my color, because when I was in Japan, more see the more subtle plain. I used to collect little fabric cut, and so definitely changing and inspire. That's I wouldn't say just the fabric, probably the where I am and exploring every day, just walk on the street and see the shops and just mesmerizing, just so colorful Miami. So that was, I think, part of my inspiration.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Nagano, in Japan, which was a countryside and little town. Lot of mountains and creeks and lake, pretty much nature. And it's beautiful, very beautiful. And I was very quiet. And so, but I remembered I really enjoy walking to the school, coming back from school. I almost every day stop by picking a stone or plant, picking up stone or twig, something like that. So always I think that I enjoy the nature.
When you got to Denver then, what prompted, I'm just curious, sort of like, what led you to printmaking? How did you discover printmaking?
Well, before moving to the Denver, I did like a volunteer because something connect more like medical. So I did a volunteer for the blind people. So when my husband and I moved to Denver, my first choice was finding the volunteer. But it was, I couldn't find anything similar situation. So I thought of next things to do is try art. I always interesting. And so when we knew there was a local art school, which was art student in Denver, which just drive in 10 minutes. So I stopped by to have a look, and I was interested actually in abstract painting, always interested in abstract. So I talked to the staff, but I was waiting list. The class was very popular. And I started looking at the pamphlet, and there is a printmaking class. And printmaking for me, I mean the Japanese was like a wood block. Always do that when you were the little and the school, carving, wood carving. They're making like a traditional carving for like postcard to send the family or friend. So that's I did until I was like 12, and also class. I enjoyed that. But the class was monotype. It's different method, but I have no idea. But I just sign up and show up. It's different, more like it's not the carving anything using the plastic sheet, acrylic sheet. So you can paint direct on the plastic acrylic plate, or I use a stencil, ink, and make a mark, and then put in a wet paper over the whatever mark on the plastic sheet and running it through the etching press. You can layer many times. So it was fascinating. It was 2 months like a workshop. Honestly, I struggle. I wasn't sure I am enjoying. No, my character, I want to make sure understanding. So kind of I'm learning slow. But the end of the class after a month, wow, I enjoy that. I made something, I like it, quite like it. And since then, after finished the month's workshop, I just rent the open studio in the art studio in Denver, and use a print room and just experimentally just make what comes. Still wasn't sure, and I wasn't comfortable, or I was shy too. So it's a shared studio. I see a lot of some artists or student. I didn't want to show my art anywhere, and kind of covering I think that I realized that showing art, just showing myself, just like naked or whatever, just showing. Kind of was not comfortable. I have never before, but just working on my own, occasionally taking other class at the school, and a friend encouraged me, if you don't show your art, you're not gonna grow up. Okay, and I decided just after a year, so 2012, no, 2013, January, something like that, I decided to show my artwork in a local cafe in Denver, and I enjoyed so much. It was nervous and learning so much. You have to frame everything, pricing on my artwork. Just had no idea, just kind of uncomfortable, but showing my artwork and see the people, the face, and the people see something in my art which I don't see. That was kind of, wow, this is wonderful. I want to carry on. So that's what encouraged me to carry on.
How did you work through that of going from not showing to making that decision to put your art out there?
It was finding myself. Probably, I don't know, like me was unusual, but probably my confidence. I didn't have a confidence, just zero confidence, and I understand my friends say, but it was difficult, really difficult. I still remember the just finding myself. When I make decision, I do like make and frame things, but the day before the opening at the cafe was, oh my gosh, what can I do? What shall I do? It's not like afraid to criticize anything, just, I don't know, I was not comfortable. But yes.
Was it, did you get to a point with it where even though you weren't comfortable that you just decided to give it a shot, just give it a chance? Or I guess, yeah, because I feel like a lot of us as artists struggle with that transitional point of going from, you know, making it to sharing it. Yeah.
My first time to show any artwork, but yes, giving a chance, because I want to grow, I want to learn, and just making art itself. Also, at the time I was so looking for, desperate to find somebody give like feedback. I was dying for, because yes, just making myself. I see some friend or instructor, but it's something that's not enough. But I want to see the feedback. Looking for the feedback, maybe at the audience, or maybe meet somebody, and just working myself, just a studio or here at home. It's not satisfied, not enough, just doing same thing. I always like the challenge, really take a risk, it's okay. And there was an opportunity to show my work in the cafe. There was a curator, really good, they had a program. So I think, yes, I just jump in.
What is it about printmaking that you really enjoy?
I very much enjoy printmaking, particularly the method like a monotype, which was one of a kind. So I can't make same one like etching. You have a plate, you have a carving or make a mark. So you can make edition exact same one, which I'm not interested in. A monotype is each piece very unique, and also I like using a stencil, which was I love cutting. I just use scissors, or little X-Acto I brought from Japan, cutting and making a stencil, and blending ink was fascinating, and particularly layering. I love layering many times. Layering, just color makes different. One color, different shape and line, just absolutely different. Just without my expectation, which was very printmaking is different. I think compared to the painting, is you work on the direct on the canvas using brush, some control and control, but printmaking just absolutely you can't control. Some control, of course, but not 100%. Always a surprise every time. Open a blanket of the etching press, just wow, that's happened. Good way and bad way. Sometimes frustrated. What can I do next? So never ending, or what I want to do next. So that was fascinating.
What does it feel like to you when you go to work? When you step into your studio here?
Right. It's always fresh, just enjoy. And just a studio I lent was wonderful, old school, a lot of light, big windows. I feel very fresh. I never feel like, oh, I should go. I just want to go. I want to go more, and enjoy so much.
Like when you want to explore a new method or a new technique or new materials, as you have with Tyvek, how do you jump into that? Like how do you like to approach that?
Wow, I don't know. I just my character. I'm just happy to take a risk, try printmaking too, just probably without thinking, like. Always my way to think, not like seeing, oh, maybe I can't use this one. How can I use it? How? So that's happens. So just try, probably doesn't work, probably, but just without thinking, just try. Can try and hit, try, fail. So it's kind of natural for me, like printmaking too. New method, like using like a matte board pieces, drawing on the Tyvek kind of things, just a try.
And I mean, it sounds like, because I mean, risk is just part of the process with the work that you're creating, right?
Right. I think maybe, I don't know, just my character. I just don't think that risk is risk, probably. I just, without, maybe I don't think what always something I'm fascinating. I don't think what's my limitation, anything. Like for instance, when I was a kids, somehow I was suddenly I want to learn soccer when I was 10. I'm not good at playing soccer, but somehow I just without thinking, just do it. And how can I do it? How can I improve? And all my sports, diving and motorcycle, like race, probably without thinking, because I want it, I learn it. How can I improve the practice? How? So I think that taking risk is not, I mean, for me, always gain something. Taking risk is something learn, right? So taking risk, maybe I just don't think. Just jump in, what happened, and of course fail, or something more I rather find something fascinating, take a risk, something unexpected things happen, or more exciting things. I take that rather than just fail. Probably that's me, just do. Sure.
Well, and when something does fail, like how do you navigate that?
Ooh. Well, it's very frustrating, very much sometimes. But also kind of I like challenge. And I think I like the challenge to start thinking different way. Still, there is a goal. And if it really didn't work, yes, I would try other way to reach the goal, which is maybe different method, just a different use material, or different way to, I don't know, manipulate things. Just to try to the goal. So focus why I want to, what I want to. That's what's kind of makes me keep working, trying.
Well, I think that is the conversation. For where's a good place online for people to find you and to learn more about you and see your work?
Yes, it's from, I have my own website, taikochandler.com, or people can find my artwork at the Space Gallery, org, I think, Space Gallery website, and Omi Graphics, and Flatbed Press.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much again for doing this with me, for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.